Greetings, I'm Rob Chappers.
And I'm the captain.
And we're at Andertons here demonstrating some really, really nice guitars today.
Yeah, we've saved the best till last on our first day of Mega Wednesday or whatever it is, a video shooting.
Mega March.
Yeah.
You guys know I have a little penchant for the Gibson Collector's Choice series of Les Pauls. And two more have arrived recently. And we're here to tell you about them.
I have the John Shanks Gibson Les Paul Collector's Choice number 7. So John Shanks, if you don't know who he is, because I didn't know who he was an amazing producer, still is.
Producer of 40
over
number
40
one
number
singles,
one
Grammy Award-winning.
Grammy Award-winning man.
Just a beautiful man.
Yeah, and I suppose the special thing about this Les Paul, other than the fact that it plays immaculately, really, really nicely, feels incredible in the hands, nice and lightweight actually, certainly not a super heavy Les Paul, is that this was made in the 50s in a very small period of time. 60s.
Made in 1960.
Made in 1960 in a very small portion of time when they made 60s Les Pauls with a 50s neck. Now, most of you are thinking, well, that means it's a super chub fat neck, but actually it doesn't really feel really big to me at all. It just feels like a nice handful, and we like a nice handful here at Andertons.
There was that marked sort of turning point where the neck lost a bit of chub as it sort of went into 1960. But for some unknown reason, like so many Gibson guitars from a bygone era where very little documentation is really kept about, why decisions were made to do what, for some reason, a very small period of time during 1960, they did just make a little run of these guitars with a chubber of a neck on it. Let me feel the... Oh, yes, little. It's not. It's a strange one, isn't it? When people talk about slim taper, I think people imagine that there's a big depth thickness, but I think it's more the sort of angle of the way.
It's the structural shape rather than the amount of wood.
So rather than it sort of slimming off, because I think at its deepest point it doesn't feel that much deeper, does it?
No,
but it kind of gets chubbier earlier.
Yeah.
Whereas the tapered ones kind of seem to get thinner quicker.
I'd be surprised. I mean, these frets are really, really big, and I was quite surprised thinking that they would be. I mean, these can't be the original frets, surely.
No,
they're huge.
Apparently, it's completely authentic.
Wow. Well, they had massive frets back in the day of John Shanks. So, congratulations on your huge frets.
And is it pretty? It's a pretty burst.
You can't say this isn't a pretty guitar. It's a stunning guitar. It's relic, lovely.
So the idea of obviously collector's choice is all the aging here will be authentic as per. What would have happened is John would have lent them his guitar for a period of time. They'd have been able to put it through all kinds of X-ray machines and understood how it was chambered, and they'd have took all the wiring and the pickups apart and understood what was cool about that. And then they put it all back together again. Do you know what? I'm guessing the machine heads obviously have been changed by by Mr. John at some point. Can you see the original screw holes or anything like that? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
See, this is the detail. You can see where it would have had the original tulip kind of clusons in there. He's obviously taken them out, replaced them with Grovers to get the sort of the improved stability that the gear ratio in a Grover will give you. But you can still see the holes where the original tuners would have been screwed in.
It's that kind of attention to detail that puts Gibson on the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is Gibson's custom shop, top end. Doesn't really get any better than this.
And Pablo told me about these pickups, and I completely forgot. I think they're custom wound customs.
This is the problem, is because essentially they would have taken the pickups out of John's original guitar.
Yes.
If there wasn't a direct, if they didn't make something direct that was identical, they would have to custom make something that was identical.
Yeah. So it's a great guitar. It sounds amazing. Lovely bright.
Run us through I know you're playing into a JVM now. Just run us through the sort of
Just put my earplugs over here because we were playing really, really, really loudly with our new amplifier setup into my face.
In your face!
So, live in my eyes. So, let me just give you some really simple tones. Here's your sort of, bright, clear tone. Back it off a little bit. In between. Neck position. Yeah, they're great pickup. I've got a bit of gain here on the floor. those of you
That's
eagle-eyed,
proper, isn't it? That's proper.
eagle-eyed and wondering what happened to my knob. Well, they keep them safe somewhere here in case they get stolen.
They're always in the case in case
Yeah.
they get cracked or stolen or something in transit or when it goes on display. So don't panic. You get one of those. It's not missing.
You get one, and a snip at mere £4,799. So you'd expect to get one. Lee, tell me about your guitar.
My guitar is another collector's choice. This time owned by the guitar player from 80s, 70s, 80s rock legendary band Boston. And I've got more than a feeling for this. What's the one that they've done for Glee? That's
A Million Voices cried
really
pain
famous
and were then
recently.
silent.
What's the one? So basically, this is owned by
The guitar player from Boston.
Tom Schultz. Tom Schultz, the guitar
did
player
Snoopy,
from
didn't he?
Boston. Huh? He did what?
Snoopy.
Snoopy. I think he did actually. That was Chuck Schultz, wasn't it?
Yeah.
His brother.
Yeah.
No, Tom Schultz. Now this is
that Ash?
is a heavily modified. No. This is a remake of a '68 Les Paul Gold Top. That at some point in its life, Tom decided that it would be cool if he shaved the gold top off, and he's modified it up as well. Not only have we got a P90, which let me just think. I wonder if it was an old gold top P90 loaded. So I'll have to research that a bit more. Maybe you can. So I don't know which one of these has been modded. I'm guessing from the cavity, it doesn't look like there's been any sort of modifications to the cavity. So I wonder if this probably was a P90 loaded guitar in the first place. And the pickup that's been modded is the bridge pickup, which has got a Dimarzio Super Distortion.
Right. The question I have then is, do you think that they would have gold topped it first and then taken it all off back to the natural wood?
You know what? I mean, that is generally what happens with these kind of guitars. Sometimes there's an element of the dye. The classic one is if you look at Joe Perry's Boneyard Les Paul.
Yeah.
That was a gold top that was sanded off, but the gold essentially was kind of ingrained within the
Right.
the finish. So
So if you don't put the gold on first and then sand it off, you don't get that kind of yellow hue that
I'm
we
not
see
sure.
here.
Guys in the Gibson Custom Shop, if you're watching this, you'll have to answer that in the comments section. Again, we've got really odd machine heads on here. I'm guessing, again, for probably much the same reason this guy changed his machine heads. I'm guessing Tom has changed his. But he's ended up putting like almost a set of heads you'd see on a Strat more than a Les Paul, wouldn't you? They're unusual, but again, you can see, and he's been lazy. He obviously never even bothered to fill the holes on the back of his one. So Tom,
It's a shame.
honestly. But look at the wearing. I mean, this guitar has obviously been touring with Boston, done probably 1 million gigs. Massively worn away on the back. We'll do some sweep overs so you can see. This is collector's choice number 10, by the way. What is yours?
Mine is collector's choice number 7A.
7A. Yeah, mine says A on it as well. Do you know what?
A for Andertons?
People often say, how come, because we haven't released collector's choice 5 yet, or 8. 8 there's information about, but it's Bernie Marsden's one. But 5 seems to be this unknown. And the reason they are numbered like this is then they're numbered in the order that the famous owner or the artist brings them in and says, do you want to borrow mine for a bit? So clearly they've been loaned the guitar, number 5 before they were loaned this one, but for whatever reason it's not finished yet. So these all come with beautiful cases and beautiful little certificates in leather-bound wallets to tell you that you're a very lucky person to own one of these. I've got number 053. What number have you got of yours? No, not collector's choice, the actual number underneath that.
Oh, 081.
So you've got number 81 of your run.
And how many are in the run, do you know?
Well, they tend to, what they do is they release them and then they say to the dealers, look, we might make a maximum of 300 of these. Who wants one?
Yeah.
Or 250 or something like that. But then if only 150 dealers order them or whatever, they just make 150. So it's kind of, you don't really know until it reaches the end of its life.
So how many have you got of each of these?
I think just one of each, maybe 2 of this one. I wasn't sure on this one because I think, although it's owned by a famous guy, and I'm sure there'll be heaps of Boston fans out there that probably grew up, on their kind of music thinking
it
this
looks
would
awesome.
be cool. Yeah, it was hard to tell in the sort of, because it's been chopped up and refinished and stuff, I didn't think it would have the appeal of something like this one, which is generally pretty authentic. So there they go. I mean, these are, as always, I love these guitars. I could sit and play.
They're special, aren't they?
Yeah, I could sit and play one of these all day long. They really do show off Gibson. You can read whatever crap you want to read on the internet about Gibson being good or bad or whatever. But when you get up to this level,
all good.
They just carry on demonstrating that they are, still right up there as one of the best guitar makers in the world. Let me show you this other guitar that I've got as a little prezi for you. This isn't collector's choice, but it is custom shop, and it is based on Joe Perry's 59 Les Paul, not the Boneyard, but basically just another Les Paul that he owns, because I'm sure he owns many.
He's probably got more than two, hasn't he?
So we'll do some close-ups of this. This has got a much more pronounced flame on it, and this is a 59 as opposed to a 60. This one isn't relict or aged or anything. It's what's called VOS, so some of the hardware will be slightly sort of tarnished to give it that sort of slightly lived-in look, but the gloss finishing is essentially immaculate on this. Let's have a listen.
So here's a clean tones for you. Middle position. Neck position.
One for the comments section. Aerosmith are better than Bon Jovi. Discuss.
Oh, that could be warfare with like peroxide everywhere and spandex and yeah, interesting. Anyway, I really like these guitars.
So do I. I've always loved these. So there we are. These are on display in Andertons if you want to come down and give one a strum. Or at least they will be until some lucky person snaps them up. Not even going to tell you the price. You've probably seen it hanging on the badge, but they're all about £5,000. They come in that category of guitar where if you have to ask how much they are, it's because you can't afford it.
Yeah, it's probably a fourth guitar, isn't it?
A fourth?
Yeah. After you got your Strat Telly, your Les Paul, and your SG, and you want another one.
No, we've had this discussion many times. I'm a great believer in, even the average dude as you go through life, you'll waste £5,000 on so many things. You'll waste £5,000 on computers that you throw away, holidays that you didn't enjoy, cars that you crash. But one thing that you will never ever waste £5,000 on is one of these.
I've been Rob Chapman,
and I've been the captain.
See you later.
Boo.